Hey, I can't underestimate the power and impact of a godly man. Now, I know you're saying, well, we're not seeing a lot of that in our country or in our churches. Well, I'm going to tell you, I think that it's a dormant thing where men are a sleeping giant. And I heard a great illustration this past week from Death Valley, and how in Death Valley it's so hot. That's in California, right there on the Nevada-California border. It is so hot that nothing grows there. And matter of fact, it only gets a couple of inches of rain a year. And so everybody thought that was just a desert, that it would always be a desert until 2004 when 6 inches of rain fell in that area. And 2005 in the spring, that whole area just sprouted with beautiful wildflowers, and it came alive. And it came alive because the conditions for growth and development were all there. So I'm going to talk today about how that happens, how those conditions can come into your life, man or woman, but especially men. And you can have a time of growth and flourishing like you've never experienced in your life. And we're going to look today at Elijah. You probably know about Elijah. He was an incredible prophet. Elijah, the Lord is God. And he was a deconstructor of things so that growth could happen. And Elisha, who he's called after him, means the Lord is salvation. And you see a multiplication of a leader. And so I'm going to read just the calling of Elisha from Elijah. And it's in 1 Kings chapter 19, beginning with verse 19, chapter 19. So Elijah went from there, and he found Elisha, son of Shaphat. And he was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, and he himself was driving the 12th pair. And Elijah went up to him and threw his cloak around him. That's the mantle. And Elisha then left his oxen and ran after Elijah. And he said, "Let me kiss my father and mother goodbye, and then I will come after you." And Elijah said, "Go back. What have I done to you?" In other words, this is God's calling of you. This is not my calling of you. So yes, do whatever you want to do. So Elijah left him and went back. Elisha left him and went back, and he took his yoke of oxen and he slaughtered them, and he burned the plowing equipment to cook the meat, and he gave it to the people, and they all ate. And he set out to follow Elijah, and he became his servant. And there's such a powerful word. I mean, all through this book of how it's really just coincides with Elijah and Elisha and how God is working his plan through the men of God in Israel. And one thing you see that builds a climate of growth is when a man accepts his calling. And I love this because Elisha is working. That's one of the calls that God has on men's lives, for us to work. But while he's working, Elijah comes along and puts the mantle on him, and he says, "Hey, I'm willing to follow you." And one of the main calls on men's life, if they want to really grow and see God move in their life, is to work hard and also to encourage people. I love what Elisha did. He took his plow and he chopped it up and made a fire pit out of it, and took the 2 oxen and grilled steaks. And like no other time had this community eaten this well and had this kind of encouragement and this kind of fellowship, because Elisha understood that the call of God is about working. It's also about encouraging. Now, I'm going to say a word to men. Men, I know how hard it is to stay positive at home. I know when you get frustrated. I know that you get aggravated. I know you come home from work and you feel like nobody understands you, but your words have power. And when you learn the power of encouragement and the power of blessing, it will change the trajectory of your influence. But you're also servants. And how powerful it is when a man understands, hey, I'm to serve God. I'm to serve other people. That happens a lot at Venture. If you have a flat at Venture, you're at the right place. Our men will run out. It's like a Talladega crew and change the tires. And because men were designed to serve, but men were also designed and called by God to learn. And what you don't get here is that Elisha was willing to follow Elijah for 18 years before he became the lead prophet. And God has a plan for you. God has a calling on your life. You say, well, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what I can do. Well, you can clarify that calling by thinking about what are some things in your life that are really a burden to you. You go like, man, that really touches my heart. That really is something I feel drawn to. That may be a part of God's calling. Sometimes it's an ability where you have an ability that's unbelievable, and for some of you, you have the ability to make money and you can give. For some of you, you have the ability to lead, and you find an area to lead in. But you begin to find your calling based on a burden and based on a skill set or based on an opportunity. Where you say, hey, I can't do everything, but I know I can meet that need. And so you see a need and you meet a need. And you begin to say, God, I want you to show me what you've called me to do. I'm telling you, one of the greatest prayers you can ever pray is, God, I just want you to show me what you want me to do. If you get up every day and say, today, God, show me what you want me to do, it will change your life. You'll begin to flourish like those wildflowers in Death Valley. The second thing is he kissed his parents goodbye. Now, I like that because I want my kids to kiss us goodbye. But it wasn't just kissing his parents goodbye physically, metaphorically. He was saying, all those things in my past, all the childish ways I had, I'm going to kiss those goodbye. And for a lot of men, man, if you're like me, I'm side-oriented, and the one thing you need to kiss goodbye is the stuff on social media that's destroying you. It started off simple because this is what the algorithms do. They find stuff you like: basketball, yoga pants, basketball, yoga pants, basketball, yoga pants. And you begin to say, hey, I don't need to do that. I had this conversation with my wife the other day, and I said, honey, I'm looking at things I shouldn't be looking at. I was brokenhearted. And she said, what are we going to do? And I said, we're going to find something that's going to help me stay accountable. And we found this deal called Accountable to You, $7 a month. And man, it reads everything I'm doing. She gets a highlight of everything. And man, it has helped me kiss those things goodbye so that I don't even look at that. Man, I'm like, I don't even want to go there. Like that's painful for me. I have an aversion to that. But you kiss those things goodbye. For some of you're like me, you need to kiss some things goodbye that aren't essential. You say, I'm going to quit doing that. I'm not doing that. For some of you, it's to say, hey, I'm going to quit some of these relationships that are hurting me, that are dragging me down. I don't need any more people in my life that I spend a lot of time with, that when I leave there, I just feel dirty. When I leave them, I feel put down. When I leave them, I never know if they're for me or against me. And the fourth thing, the other thing, the reason this is so important, where you want to cultivate the right climate to grow and produce good fruit, is that you want to leave a legacy. That is so important. Listen, a legacy is very different than an inheritance. An inheritance is where you leave a lot of stuff. You leave things or you leave junk. That's usually what happens. A legacy is where you leave people and you leave character. And you leave a heritage of faith like David, where David said, the zeal for your house has consumed me. You leave people behind you that are growing in their passion for the Lord. See, here's the thing. People don't remember how you came. Nobody remembers how you came. But they all remember how you leave. And so I want to challenge you, whatever it is that you need to grab a hold of today to kind of begin cultivating that seed of leadership and growth and godliness. If it's to say, hey, this is my calling, I'm going to grab a hold of that, or I need to kiss some of these things goodbye, or I want to sign up for an adventure, whatever that is, because you know you want to leave a great legacy of faith. And I know God can do that through you.